Today we're talking about planned obsolescence, and yes, it does relate to these boots, so stay tuned. If you don't know what planned obsolescence is, it is basically the reason why your grandma's washing machine from the 1950s is working better than your washing machine from 2015. It is the reason why your grandpa's 40-year-old leather boots are probably the best quality shoes that anybody in your family owns, and it is the reason why your fast fashion sweaters start pilling and looking awful within just a few washes. In short, planned obsolescence is the practice of companies deliberately making a lower quality product so that people will have to repurchase that product more often. The first well-known example of this happened in the 1920s when light bulb manufacturers kept figuring out better and better ways to make light bulbs so that the light bulbs would last longer. But pretty soon they started realizing that if they kept making their light bulbs last longer, then people would have to buy new light bulbs less often. So all of the major light bulb manufacturers got together and basically signed an agreement saying that they would not make their light bulbs last longer than a certain number of hours, even though technically they could, and it was in the mutual interest of all the light bulb manufacturers being able to sell more light bulbs. So essentially creating more waste in thrown out, no longer usable light bulbs for the purpose of being able to sell more of them and make more money, making a lower quality product to make more money. Funny how that works, right? Despite this, throughout most of the 20th century, I would say people still kind of like valued quality over quantity, and a lot of stores offered a lot of options to repair or alter things if they happened to break down or didn't fit quite right. But with the good old rise of fast fashion, people are buying so many clothes all the time that it doesn't matter if those clothes are poorly made because they're just gonna end up being replaced soon anyways, so who cares? As it happens, some people care. And some people notice, and some people think this sucks. I am one of these people. Which brings us back to the boots. In the autumn of 2023, I bought a pair of boots pretty similar to this one, which I really liked. They cost about 40 euros, so they were pretty cheap. And within about 3 months of wearing those boots, the lining on the inside started to break down, and like random pieces of plastic from the construction of the boot started to break, and then the soles started coming apart from the rest of the shoe, and they started like leaking water in and whatever. I still wore those shoes into the winter of 2024 because I didn't want to replace them because it just felt so wasteful, but finally I could no longer wear those boots and I went hunting for a new pair. I spent literally weeks searching for the perfect pair of boots that matched all of my requirements in terms of the aesthetic and the style. I wanted something simple and versatile that would match with a lot of my outfits. I wanted it to have loops so that I could tie ribbons to them if I wanted. And so finally, after weeks of searching, I settled on this pair, which at full price were 140 euros. I know that's not like the highest price that a pair of boots can be, but I was willing to spend a little bit more than I had last time in the hopes that they would last me longer, right? So they were 140 euros. I put them in my wish list. I watched and waited for the price to drop. I ended up buying them when they were about 100 euros. I didn't expect that they would last me like 10 years, but I hoped that they would last me at least 3. So I bought these boots in January, and 4 months later in May, I noticed the very first tear. You can very clearly see this hole where the sole is coming apart from the boot. If I wear these on a rainy day, my socks will get wet. So this 140 euro pair of boots lasted less than 6 months. And like, I didn't wear them a lot. I don't go outside a lot. I go to walk my dog, and that's pretty much the only time I spend outside. So I would say I wore these for like less than an hour a day. And let me tell you, I am so mad and so disappointed because I love these boots. They are beautiful. They are pretty much my perfect boot. They are the perfect length. They fit my leg really well. They are comfortable. They are pretty. The color of the leather matches the color of my handbag almost exactly. Like, they are so matched, so in tune, so perfect with my aesthetic. They had the loops that I wanted for ribbons, like all of the above. I loved these shoes. I searched for them for so long to find the perfect pair, and I thought I found the perfect pair. They are made out of leather. Real animal leather. And I thought, you know, leather assumes a certain level of quality. And I had hoped that because leather lasts long, then shoes made of leather would be made with enough respect for the life of the animal that gave its skin to make this pair of boots to actually ensure that the shoes would last as long as the leather would by itself. That is not the case. And it really bugs me because I do not like creating waste. I do not like wasting my money. I do not like wasting my time. I don't like getting my hopes up for nothing. And I think the animal that gave its skin to make these boots deserves more dignity than deliberate poor workmanship. These boots are fake sewn. So like stitched soles that are sewn to the shoe are known to last longer. And in the product images on the website, I saw this pretty little dotted line that made me think they must be hand sewn. When they came in the mail, I realized they were not, but I loved the boots so much and I had spent so long picking them out that I decided to overlook that and just hope that the quality was still good enough that the glued soles would not come apart after 3 or 4 months of very light wear. But they did, and now I'm pissed. There's also other annoying signs of wear, like, you know, the heel was made to look like wood or whatever this material is supposed to look like, and it's clearly rubber and the pattern has rubbed off. It's just disappointing. It is disappointing and it makes me sad because this is a beautiful shoe. It just required better craftsmanship to make it actually last. Fortunately for me, I live in Germany and there is a law here that I don't think a lot of people know about or take advantage of, but it basically states that if something becomes damaged within 6 months of purchasing it, the assumption is that it was defective to begin with and the business is required to give you your money back. So I went to the business that I bought these from and I told them there is a hole in my shoe after less than 6 months, and now they have to give me my money back. That doesn't make it okay though, because they're not gonna be able to sell this to anyone else. This is gonna end up in a landfill. An animal died for basically no reason, and a bunch of waste was created that is gonna be decomposing in a landfill for the next however many decades because they couldn't be bothered to make a decent boot. The message of this video is stop letting them get away with it. Stop letting them profit off of making shitty products. If you can get a refund, get that refund. And don't feel bad about it because they certainly don't. And moreover, really try to do your research. Really try to buy the highest quality item that you can. Be aware that unfortunately, price doesn't always equal quality, right? A higher priced item does not necessarily mean that it's gonna be better quality, unfortunately. And generally shop less, especially when it comes to things that you know are not very good quality and you know are gonna break down pretty quickly. Something has to change, and somehow we as consumers have to try to make it no longer profitable for so many businesses to create so many useless products that break easily, because this overproduction of stuff that nobody needs is killing our planet. I am by no means a minimalist. I've tried, I can't. It's not me, but I do think that almost everybody who lives in first world countries could do with less stuff. So it's really time to try to prioritize being selective with what you purchase, choosing quality over quantity, and refusing to give your money to companies that practice planned obsolescence. I'm so mad that I have to buy new boots. Like, what is the point of making something look timeless, right? What is the point of a timeless styled shoe if it's not gonna last for a reasonable amount of time? If anybody has recommendations for a brand that makes boots similar to these that actually last, please let me know in the comments because I need new boots, unfortunately. Thanks for watching.